All right, now that you are a pro at adding, subtracting, and multiplying decimals, it's time to start dividing. So today's goals, students will be able to follow steps to divide decimals by a whole number. Students will be able to understand what is happening when you divide by a whole number using a hundreds grid as your model. Let's start with a really simple example of division. How else could I say 8 divided by 4? So if I've got 8 cookies and I divide that into 4 groups, what exactly is it that I'm doing? Well, another way to say that would be to take 8, split into 4 groups, and then the question is, if I do this, how many are in each group? Now you say, well, Ms. Crenshaw, that's easy. If I have 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I split that into 4 equal groups, clearly I have 2 in each group. Well, let's just take that a step further. So how about if I have 8/10 divided by 4? How else could we say that? Well, it's exactly the same, except we're going to start with 8/10 instead of 8 wholes. So how else could I say that? We'll say 8/10 split into 4 groups, 4 equal groups. If I do that, again, what we're asking is how many are in each group? All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to start with what I have. Just like in this example, this easy example, I have 8 cookies. Well, we're going to start with I have 8/10 of a pan of brownies. So I'm going to shade 8/10. Okay, now if I take 8/10 and I divide that into 4 equal groups, let's see how we might do that. Since I have 8 rows across, let's just say that each group is 2 rows. So there's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, and 4 groups. Then again, our question is, so if I divide that into 4 equal groups, what do I have in each group? Well, you can see I have 2/10 in each group, or you could say I have 20/100 in each group. Remember that these are the same thing because we can add zeros after the decimal and it does not change the value. So this is just a little look at what exactly is happening when we divide a decimal by a whole number. All right, well, let's get down to how we actually go about doing that. Clearly, we are not going to draw a picture every time. So please make your T-chart. Our heading today is dividing decimals by a whole number. 5 is a whole number because it would be 5 whole pies. All right, well, we're going to put this decimal in what I call the house. So you've seen division like this before. Maybe if you did 12 divided by 3, you could write it like that and you would solve that and get 4. Well, let's set up the problem using our house, except we'll use this problem. So our problem is 7/500 divided by 5. Now the first number is the number that goes in the house. So let's put 7/500 inside our house. Divided by 5, that goes out here. Now here's the rule. So again, let's just write our first step. Put the first number in the division house. And hopefully you'll remember what we mean by that. Pause at any time if you need to catch up with what I've written. All right, now once we've done that, what's important is we look at this outside number. If that is a whole number, that means not a decimal number, then we are going to have a little rocket ship and our decimal is going to shoot up, what I say, through the roof. So it shoots up through the roof and it's going to land right on top of the roof directly above where it was. Now in order to do this, this has to be a whole number out here. So because this is a whole number, I shot it through the roof. Now our decimal is already in place. So now I can go ahead and divide, and my decimal is already where it needs to be. So 5 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. And let's subtract. 7 minus 5 equals 2. You drop down the next digit. Then 5 goes into 25 5 times. So notice our answer is already ready to go with the decimal. Now, which other operation did we place our decimal first and then solve the problem? If you said addition, subtraction, you are correct. Remember, first we placed our decimals, then we solved the problem. Also in division, first we place our decimal, and then we solve the problem. Multiplication was the opposite. First we multiplied, and then we placed our decimal last. So just remember which is which. All right, so we put our first number in the house. The outside, which was the divisor, the outside number, as long as that is a whole number, then we're going to shoot our decimal through the roof. So shoot it directly up through the roof, and then you're just going to divide like you normally would. I will also have a extra video on just how to do long division. So if you do not remember how to do that, you might want to go back to that video right now and review how to solve long division. All right, let's try another example. Here we go. So let's put this in the house. So let's draw our house. The first number goes in the house, so we'll write 1 and 38/100ths. And then this is our divisor out here. All right, so is 6 a whole number? Yes, it is. It is not a decimal. It is a whole number. So our rocket ship is ready to take off. Here we go. We're going to shoot it up through the roof and plop right on top of the roof. Now don't disrupt any of your numbers. Those need to stay where they are. Now let's just divide like normal with our decimal already being where it needs to be. 6 does not go into 1. So let's look at 13. 6 goes into 13 2 times. Make sure to put your 2 directly above the 3. Then we do 2 times 6 is 12 and subtract. 13 minus 12 equals 1. Then we drop down our next digit. 6 goes into 18 3 times, and that is our final answer. Now, what if it didn't go in evenly? You never have remainders for a division problem. So if it hadn't gone in evenly, we can add, remember, as many zeros as we need to and keep dropping those down until we are done solving the problem. All right, so let's go ahead and do some practice. You should have this page in your practice packet. I want you to do these problems with me. Anytime you want to try on your own and then pause and then see if you're right, feel free to do that when you are ready. All right, so you have this page in your practice packet. Follow the steps and give yourself a star for each problem you get correct. Here are your steps. Write your problem in the division house. Bring your decimal up through the roof and divide using long division. Here we go. All right, in our first problem, 1.38 goes in the house, divided by 6. And this is actually the problem that we just solved, so we don't really need to do that again. But just a reminder of how to set that up. All right, let's try this one. So first I'm going to make my division house. I'm going to put 96/100ths inside and my divisor on the outside. This is a whole number, so let's shoot this up through the roof. 8 goes into 9 one time. 1 times 8 is 8 and subtract. Drop down your 6. 8 goes into 16 2 times. All right, let's try the next one. Try it on your own if you're ready. First, we're going to draw the house. 1.75 divided by 5. This is a whole number, so shoot this up through the roof. 5 does not go into 1. 5 goes into 17, however, 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15, and subtract. 17 minus 15 is 2. Bring down the 5. and 5 goes into 25 5 times. So our answer is 35 hundredths. Why don't you try this one on your own if you haven't yet, and then unpause the video when you're ready. All right, so this is a whole number. We're going to bring this up through the roof. 4 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3, and drop the 2. 4 goes into 32 8 times, and my answer is 18 hundredths. If you got that right, give yourself a star. Next problem. 312 thousandths goes in the house, and our divisor is 4. Bring your decimal up through the roof. Now you're going to run into something that we haven't seen yet, so pay close attention. Now when I try to do 4 into 3, I can't do that. It doesn't go in. So because it's after the decimal though, we can't just leave this blank. Otherwise that's going to change the value of our answer. So 4 goes into 3 0 times. Make sure you put that 0 down. This is the most common mistake that people make, is they forget to do that. Then we go on. 4 goes into 31 7 times. And make sure to put your 7 right above the 1. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract. 31 minus 28 is 3. Drop your 2. And 4 goes into 32 8 times. So our final answer is 78 thousandths. All right, let's try this one. 4 and 68 hundredths is going to go in our division house, divided by 8. All right, shoot up your decimal right here. 8 does not go into 4. You can put a 0 if you want, though before the decimal it's not really necessary. 8 goes into 46, I believe 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract. 46 minus 40 is 6, and drop down the 8. All right, now this is another great example because you'll notice that 8 does not go into 68 evenly. So we have to say, okay, 8 goes into 68 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. And now we have to subtract again. I'm going to go ahead and pull this whole example down a little bit so that it's easier for you to read. All right. So the problem is we subtract, and I have no digit over here to pull down. Now remember what I said a little while ago. After the decimal, we can add as many zeros as we need to the end without changing the value. So go ahead and just add yourself another 0. Now you have a 0 to pull down, and 8 goes into 40 5 times. Again, you never have remainders when you are solving a division problem. You're simply just going to start pulling down zeros if you run out of numbers to pull down. All right, so you're going to go ahead and do some practice on your own on the computer with a partner and in your packet. So good luck. Make sure you review the video if you need help with long division, and ask for help if you need it.